What if I told you that our purpose isn't something that we have to find? What if I told you that our purpose is staring each of us in the face every single day? It's just that most of us don't even know where to look. So here's how to discover your purpose. So the reason that I say that finding our life's purpose is bullshit is because it insinuates that there's something outside of ourselves that we need to go in search of in order to find. When in reality, our purpose is hidden in plain sight every single day. It's just that most of us don't know where to see it because it's hidden in the form of our values. Let me explain what I mean. See, from axiology, we know that every human being has a hierarchy of values. The things that we value most in life to the things that we value least in life. Which, by the way, I learned this from a gentleman named Dr. John Demartini, so I didn't make this stuff up myself. Now, to be clear, when I say values, I'm not talking about social idealisms. Oftentimes people think, I know what my values are. It's integrity, respect, and fairness. No, those are social idealisms. What I'm talking about is the things that we value most in life to the things that we value least in life. Let me give you some examples so you can understand this critical component to comprehending what our purpose is. See, if you're a mom and you wake up every day and the first thing on your mind is your children's health, your children's education, your children's after school activities, your time, energy, and money tends to revolve around those children a lot, well then we can probably deduce that those children are very valuable to you. In other words, you have a high value on raising those kids. Now, if you're a business owner and the first thing you think about every morning is the business's goals, the business's challenges, the actions that are critical to the business, being a better leader for the business, and you spend a lot of time, energy, and money on your business, well then we can deduce that that business is high in your values, or you highly value that business, which not everybody does, by the way. Now, notice though that there's also those things that we say are important to us, we say we want to accomplish, we say that, that we should go out and do, but we just never seem to make time for it, right? Oftentimes people say, I want to start my own business, or I want to go to the gym and get in shape, or I want to save more money and start investing for long-term, financial independence. And maybe for a little while we're motivated, we take a few actions for a short period of time, but eventually the motivation wears off and we find ourselves overrun with procrastination, hesitation, self-sabotage, just to name a few. See, down here, we tend to think that we need motivation, right? If I could just stay motivated, if I just had an accountability partner. So when things are low in our values, we want motivation and accountability. But when things are high in our values, we don't need motivation because we have something far better. We have inspiration. The inspiration, inspired, meaning from the spirit within. Think about it for a moment. That mom who thinks about her children all day, every day, she doesn't need an accountability partner to make sure that she gets out of bed and picks them up from school. She doesn't need motivational tapes to remind her to get them to soccer practice on time or help them do their homework. This business owner, they don't need motivation. Think about it. You think Jeff Bezos needed an accountability partner for him to go out and build the Amazon store? Do you think that, Elon Musk needs to sit in front of his computer every morning and watch motivational videos so he can build up the motivation to go launch SpaceX? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous because, they are living by their highest values. When we live by our highest values, we are inspired. We are motivated from the spirit within. Right? Think about that, from the spirit within. In other words, this might also be seen as a window into our soul's calling. When we feel like we need more fulfillment, where does fulfillment come from? Fulfillment comes from filling full our values. When we say, I feel out of alignment, what do we mean by that? Well, when we choose daily actions, jobs, or careers that don't seem to align with our values, we feel out of alignment. But when we choose jobs, careers, or activities every day that fulfill our values, we feel in alignment. And why do I say all of this? Because when we live by our highest values, we unlock our purpose. We feel purposeful. We feel like we are living our life's mission. But when we're too, ignorant or biased or naive to acknowledge our values, well then we feel purposeless. And most people struggle with this because most of us are not willing to acknowledge our values because we're too busy judging ourselves for who we're not rather than loving ourselves for who we are. In other words, instead of acknowledging our true values, the things that are most valuable to us, the things that we spend our time, energy, and money on every day, the things that consume our thoughts, that encapsulate our emotions, that the things that we visualize most, the things that we talk about most, instead of seeing all of the evidence for the things that we value most in life, what most most of us are too busy doing is projecting the world's values on ourselves instead. We're too busy trying to live up to our family's values or society's values or some institution's values. And we think to ourselves, because we're not living up to those, we think, I need to, I ought to, I have to, I must. But when we're living by our values, we'd love to, we desire to, we can't wait to. Right? Like this mom can't wait to pick up her children from school. This business owner can't wait to accomplish the goals in the business. They don't feel like they need to, that they have to. They're inspired from within to go do it because they're living their life based on purpose. So why do I say all of this? Well, when we take the time to evaluate our values, to see what's automatically being demonstrated in our lives, we have vision into our life's purpose. Now, oftentimes when we evaluate our values, sometimes we might see that, hey, my values don't really align with my goals. Well, the good news is that we can adjust our values to align with our goals. Or sometimes we evaluate our values and we say, oh, I've been setting goals that don't align with my values. No wonder I don't feel fulfilled by these goals. And then we adjust our goals to match our values. Either way, we live a life that's more fulfilled, more aligned, and more ultimately purposeful. See, our purpose isn't something that we have to go out into the world and find. It's being expressed every day. It's just that most of us are blind to it because we're too busy judging ourselves for who we're not than loving ourselves for who we are. We're too busy feeling purposeless to realize that we're ultimately a purpose-filled machine. So, with that said, if you want to go deeper down this rabbit hole, maybe take some time to discover what your real values are, which most people are not aware of because 99.9999% of people are busy, again, judging themselves, ridiculing themselves, and not truly honoring themselves. And they're busy lying to themselves, which I did for a very long time, even after I initially learned this. It's difficult for most of us to assess our values without some additional help. And therefore, I have another video that I'll link to somewhere around here where I go much deeper on this topic. And you can even go further than that video, and then I'll have some information for you in that video that I linked to here. However, if you love this content, if you like this and you're enjoying it, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that little bell notification down below. My name is Cal Kanai. I'm an entrepreneur. I got started a few years ago while working in a coffee shop for minimum wage, and I've gone on today to build multiple 7- and 8-figure businesses. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast. I'm saying it so that you know that everything that I share on my channel comes from the real world applied knowledge of the things that I've learned and executed on that have helped me create those results. And I share them on my channel in hopes that they can help you create similar results as well. So if you like this sort of content and you want to be updated about it every week when I release more content like this, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that little bell notification. And at the bare minimum, if you like it, well then like it, because that's just fair, right? So subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Take care.